Once upon a time, in the heart of Iwiara, a kingdom of fertile lands and joyful songs, there came a day of celebration. The great drum of succession echoed across the hills, announcing the rise of a new king, Oba Adiro. Young, brave, and chosen by the elders through sacred rites, he was hailed as the people's hope. But the joy did not last. That very night, the sky turned a strange color, dark purple like bruised skin. The wind howled with voices, and strange cries echoed through the trees. By dawn, 3 villagers were found lifeless, their eyes wide open, mouths agape, their bodies ice cold even under the sun. In the days that followed, rivers dried mysteriously. The great Ewiara River that once fed all farms now coughed dust. The crops began to rot in the soil, even before they could bloom. No rainfall, no food. The goats stopped bleating. Children cried in hunger. Every night, shadows danced through the village, black shapes that whispered people's names before they vanished forever. Even the bravest warriors dared not walk outside after sunset. The elders gathered, casting bones, chanting to the spirits. But the land remained cursed. And so, whispers began to rise like smoke. This never happened under the old king. The new one must have brought a curse. As the moon waxed and waned, the suffering of Ewiara worsened. Calamities struck without warning. Fires bursting from the earth, swarms of insects eating what little crops remained, and people disappearing into thin air, their screams echoing for hours afterward. The people could take no more. At the palace gates, hundreds gathered, chanting, crying, holding their children and the bodies of loved ones. "Give us peace or leave the throne. The ancestors are angry. Adiro must step down." The young king stood at the palace balcony, his eyes sunken with sleeplessness. He had done nothing but search for solutions, consulting oracles, sacrificing goats, praying at ancient stones. But nothing worked. The council of elders grew divided. Some stood by him, saying he was innocent. Others whispered that perhaps the throne was not truly his to take. That night, King Adiro sat alone, dressed not as a king but as a man. The palace was silent, save for the cries of distant spirits. A single tear slid down his cheek as he whispered to the wind, "If I am not the king meant for this land, then show me the truth." And the wind answered. Determined to save his people, Adiro left the palace in disguise. He wandered through forests, crossed dried rivers, and climbed forgotten hills in search of wisdom. For 7 days and nights he traveled, until he came upon a crooked hut at the edge of the forest, one even birds avoided. Inside sat an old man with milky eyes and a staff of carved bones. "I have been waiting for you, King Adiro," the old man rasped. The king knelt. "Do you know what haunts my people?" The old man nodded, his voice like dried leaves. "Your kingdom is not cursed because of you, but because of the blood on the throne. The late king, Oba Amori, was no rightful king. He murdered 3 noble men to claim the crown and made a pact with the restless spirits of the underworld. Every full moon, he offered sacrifices to keep them silent." Adiro's eyes widened. "And now? The pact is broken. The spirits are hungry. Only a cleansing ritual, with the blood of the last of the old king's line and the bones of the betrayed, can end the suffering." Adiro did not hesitate. He returned to the village and led a night of fire and chant. They dug up the bones of the betrayed and found a surviving daughter of one of the murdered nobles, who willingly gave her blood for the land. As the last drumbeat echoed through the night, rain poured from the sky for the first time in moons. The spirits screamed one final time. And then, silence. The rivers flowed again. The crops grew. Joy returned. And the king, now wise beyond his years, ruled not with pride, but with the memory of darkness and the
Kindly
price of
subscribe,
peace.
like, comment, and turn on the notification to be the first person to see my video whenever I upload.